what are we all waiting for? We're all waiting for that Water Island Mythical, and I think this time finally might be here where we might be getting it, guys. On Mythical Island right now, we have two Mythicals left. We have the Water Island and Fire Haven Mythicals left. And of course, they're two Dream Mythicals. So Mythical Island doesn't actually have that long left. Alongside Amber Island, we're seeing the conclusion of a lot of islands right now, which is pretty dazzling when you think about it. Now, when is this gonna be coming though? Well, we've been seeing all these Mythicals release in the order that they have been created by the people who visited My Singing Monsters to make these Mythicals in the first place. So first off, we saw the Fire Oasis one, then we saw Earth Island, and up next is the Water Island one. We also know that Cherubble released inside of Feast Ember in November, then released inside of the Season of Love in February, and then up next, going by that, I do think we're going to be seeing the Water Island one inside of a seasonal event too. But what seasonal event is this going to be? Well, Water Island's seasonal event is the one that is up next. And going by how this is the Water Island Mythical, guys, I think they're going to throw it in there, and they're not going to resist, as this is an all too good chance. And it's confirmed, guys, if we're heading over to a promotion, that Extravaganza is actually going to be happening next week. So the Water Island Mythical looks like it could be coming very soon. Make sure to leave a like, guys, while we're going over this too, as it really does help. Now, what do we know about this Mythical that we're going to be getting? If we go on back to us Mythical Island trailer, we saw all of the constellations in the order that we're going to be seeing these Mythicals, and the final one that we got reference towards was the Water Island one. Therefore, straight after his, we see the Water Island one. This constellation, I've seen lots of predictions for this, that is going to be like a crab, and I get where people are coming from with this. However, personally, I don't see this being a crab. On this constellation, you can see antennas poking out from the upward side of this monster. We can see a micro face, it looks like, being segmented by the arms, and also this signature piece inside of its body. It looks very small in comparison to the rest of the monsters that we've been seeing as of late. We can also see a big body with this in comparison to the face, and very small bug-like arms. We can see a set of 6 poking out from this, one at the top, one in the middle, and then also 2 pairs of legs right at the bottom of this. And 2 of these features that we've mentioned link together. If we go on over to a 6-legged insectoid in real life, they are called Entagonartha, and we're going to call them Entos for short, because I don't know whether I'm saying that right, even though I've looked it up. So Entos are creatures that hide the face inside of the body, and seen as though this has a very micro face, it looks like this could be also hiding its face inside of its body, and that it could potentially reveal it inside of its animation. A bit like to Frondley, where it reveals its mouth. I think this is going to be a very similar situation, and it would be really cool to see in this design. The design overall, though, from the constellation that we have, feels like it might be the most stiff Mythical so far, and still perhaps a little bit more like Cherubble. So maybe this might not be the case, but it would be so cool if it did. There's definitely a ton of undersea insectoid vibes from this. I sense lots of greens, reds, and potentially a more jelly-like substance from this monster overall, a bit like Entos. After here, though, I just want to see loads of aliveness coming from these Mythicals that we have left. His animations were just so alive to the point where it felt like a different class of monster entirely, so I would love to see that here. However, the stiffness behind it doesn't really evoke that sense, so hopefully we do see a bit of that. If we're looking at the constellation once again, we can see that there's lots of detail put on the stomach itself. It appears like that is going to be the main feature behind this monster, so therefore I do think its instrument is going to slot into its belly right there. And if we're looking at this constellation, it seems as though it's slanted almost to the right. That makes me feel as though the instrument is more so going to take a right side position in comparison to the left. If I'm to point out how this instrument is going to fit into its stomach, I also think that, seeing as though it's going to be an insect, it would be really cool if it's highlighted by the pouches on its stomach itself. But guys, the most exciting part behind this is definitely how this screams it is going to be a percussionist monster. All the mythical instruments so far have been absolutely dazzling. Even the vocalist with Yorstridge, they have been amazing. And therefore, with these mythical instruments literally being the best instrumentalists inside of the game, I don't think this is going to be any different. And this one one looks like it's going to be a drum instrument to me. It screams like it's going to be like that. I've not really got a sense so far that it 100% is going to be based on the design alone, but this just looks like it is going to be indefinitely. And the instrument behind this scene, as though I do think it's going to be a drum, I think it would be a perfect fit to be a steel drum. A steel drum is a very melodic instrument, and it's very reminiscent of the sea kind of vibes that you'd expect on Water Island. If we put up the sound now, you could see there that it was so reminiscent of the Water Island vibes, and just encapsulating that tropical atmosphere, and also the magical tones that we've been seeing with these mythicals so far. To me, it just really makes me think back to Super Mario Bros, that instrument as well. The water levels, just that tropical vibe. I think the tropical vibe behind this could really harness Water Island's ending parts. The ending parts behind Water Island with the wordos, and then the finale behind it. I think could really be ramped up behind this. We've been seeing all of the finales behind the individual songs with the new mythicals. They ramped up with them, and they've not been going anywhere else, and I don't think that's going to change here. Nevertheless, though, I feel like that instrument would fit the best at the end of the song, so I don't want it to go anywhere else anyway. And the steel drum, too, I think is different enough from Shelby for it still to be a part of the Water Island song. For as Mythical Island sounds, though, I think it's going to play with Yarstridge. Yarstridge's first track at the very beginning of the song, and then also when it plays its first track towards the end too, I sense that it's going to play there, and oh my goodness, I sense a duet coming here, guys. I sense that this is going to be an absolute bop with Here. When Here comes along and it plays with that, it's going to be absolutely amazing in the intro, I think. And I think that this is going to finally fill out that intro section. We've been seeing lots of instruments coming there, and I feel like this could be the final one to just stretch that out, that last little bit. Out of this though, if it has a good duet with Her, then I am in the Amaze Bug zone. Amaze Bugs, because it's a bug. I hope you got that pun, guys. And then with the Dream Mythical, now we've got all of these intro sections being filled out, and also the ending verse is starting to feel quite full. The verse that really slots itself as needing a bit more fulfillment right now is Crunchy and Sparrow's solo verse with Bleaknik. It just feels like it needs that extra punch, and if we don't get that extra punch soon, they're gonna run out of time. We've got another 4 monsters left, and I feel like at least one of these 2 Water Island Mythicals is going to have to go there. And I do think we do need that big impact sound there. However, it seems as though the Dream Mythicals haven't quite been hitting that impactful mark as much as what the Mythicals have. I don't think it's going to be the impactful sound that we need right now, but I still do think that it's going to have to go there, that Dream Mythical. It would be great to see a more impactful Dream Mythical, but I am not getting my hopes too far up. Now, heading over back to us Eggstravaganza promotion that we have a bit of a teaser too, revealing what might be coming inside of Eggstravaganza. There's always the costumes here that are going to be coming inside of the event, and this is no different. Remember good old Cheeky Mar inside of Season of Love? Yeah, well, yeah, but that one got us good. But this one, I think we can concretely nail down who this is this time. If we zoom in here, you can see it's based on a chicken. We got an Easter chicken here, massive googly eyes. It looks great. This is absolutely goofy, which I love. If we go up to the bottom of this, I've got my colour picker out as I'm colourblind again, but if we go to the very bottom, you can see a red circular bit, and what do we know has a circular bit and also has a very similar shape towards this one that's at the back? It is, of course, Hummel. So I think this is going to be a costume for Pummel, and seen as though it's red, and we've been seeing all these rare costumes coming out recently with the recent events, I do think it's going to be for Rare Pummel. Going by his previous seasonal events too, I do think we're going to be getting at least 6 probably new costumes, which is really exciting. I'm loving all these new costumes that are coming on. Hopefully we do see that continue. For its release though, as I'm sure everyone is speculating, when is this new Water Island Mythical coming out? Me too, guys, me too. But first of all, we got his Water Island costumes coming out, I do believe, on the 22nd of March. And then if everything follows through and as theories are aligning, then I do think that the Mythical will arrive on the 29th. If we look back at Shrubble and they have all released inside of the individual events. They haven't released at the start, they've released bang in the middle. And if Eggstravaganza is coming along and it's going in that 2-week slot that we see we all as seasonal events, then I think that that is the time that we're going to be seeing it. And you know what? Seeing as though there's been no new trailers for the seasonal events when they've been starting, and instead they've been highlighting an update inside of each seasonal event, there is literally no other update, guys. I swear down to you that they can do this for other than it being the Water Island Mythical. So I do think that the Water Island Mythical is what this trailer is going to be for, and that it's going to arrive with it on the 29th. So yes, I do think it's coming. Now, I've seen lots of hype in the comments behind this Water Island Mythical, and it's been pretty unfounded, this hype. Like, everyone has been getting unbelievably excited, and I do get why, because of her. Still a really weird name to say it. Every time I say it, I have to pause and think, am I saying it right? Yes, you are. But anyway, seeing as though, yeah, it was just so awesome, I feel like hype levels are a bit too high, so I just kind of want to talk about that. I personally am bringing my hype levels a little bit down, as I feel like everyone's just so out there right now. I don't think we're going to be seeing Mythical again, so keep your expectations in check, guys, I'd say. And also, make sure to check out this video if you want to see some more My Singing Monsters goodness.